Inspiration is contagious. The words we speak have the power to change the world, and when we weave them together with a beat and the potency of a mindful rhyme, our words become songs and tools to help empower us all. This is Skull Babylon, and you're about to listen to episode 91 of Paradigm Shift Radio. On this episode, we talked about consciousness and hip-hop, how hip-hop artists help inspire us, the creative process, and the reminder that all of us have the potential to create and sing our heart songs. Throughout the episode, we had numerous community members contribute to the conversation, and in particular, our good friend Tarek Bibi, a Canadian hip-hop artist who recently released his new album specifically designed to be used as a healing modality. We all have a part to play, and Paradigm Shift Radio is here to help remind you that the process is an adventure worth taking, not just for yourself, but for all the lives who you will help change along the way. So connect further with this global community, be inspired, and be involved. Check out and use the main ParadigmShiftCentral.com website as a tool to share with your friends, and enjoy being inspired by the endless hours of conscious media available through the community. Join us again for future episodes, continue the conversations where you are, work on yourself, go change the world, and enjoy the flow. Namaste awesome, and one love.
Art is magic, and through the songs we sing, through the pictures we paint, through the emotions we share, and through the stories we tell, we continue to all help change the world. And that's what we're doing here once again tonight. This is your good buddy Brendon Culleton, aka Skull Babylon, aka Wolf Shield, aka you can call me whatever you want, really, but rebirth from within is what this is all about, as per usual, tonight on Paradigm Shift Radio. And of course, huge shout out to everybody who is with us tuned in. And tonight's episode, going to be talking about consciousness and hip hop. So this is going to be a really interesting episode, and this is not the first time that we have actually covered this topic on Paradigm Shift Radio. If you are new to Paradigm Shift Radio, I highly encourage you to go back and check out some of the past episodes. In particular, the most recent one that we had focused around hip-hop was with Cap One Artist. He's a musician from the UK. I think that was like episode 60-ish something. And you can also go back, and there's an episode with Kelly Mays. She's an incredible female rapper. She's like so boss, and she is you can find her, it was episode 30 something or whatever. But yeah, like, I mean, just putting things together, I mean, when you think about it, we're already on episode 91, and of course I just want to be able to give a huge shout out to everybody who has been a part of this show, to some of you who have literally been around since the genesis of it. And this is a shared success. I always want to be able to remind people that that's really, anything that comes out of this show is a shared success, because this show is about community. This show is about us being able to helix back into this digital space to be able to take part in these conscious conversations, really to be able to practice talking about things so that we can not only be inspired, but be able to find the courage within us to be able to go out there and to choose to be the change that we want to see in the world. I was just kind of segueing off topic, but these are the type of things I'm getting messages about. Our good buddy Frank, he was just messaging me literally 5 minutes before the show, and he's out on the west coast in Vancouver, I think, and he was just talking about how he was like downtown giving like free hugs out or last night he was out giving free hugs, and he was just talking about how much of an amazing time he had. And I always tell people, it's the little things that make the big difference. So yeah, just keeping that in mind. So, of course, I do just want to be able to just remind you guys that, of course, you can check out the main website at ParadigmShiftCentral.com if you have not yet, etc., etc. Start up a Paradigm Shift community where you are, and again, check out all the conscious media there, including all the past episodes of Paradigm Shift Radio. Now, with that said, we want to be able to invite and encourage more people to tune into the show. So if you have not yet, if you are amongst the people listening to the show live right now, then please post the link for it, post a Blog Talk link for it, and invite more people to tune in. That is how we get this show out there. That is how we build the community. And again, Paradigm Shift, it's really different from the other communities, and there's a certain level of substance, and it really happens when we get to recognize each other, when we return to this place. And I like the idea that you guys get to hang out with us, and you get to know us. We get to know you. It's a very personal thing, so that's really cool. And just in regular news, there will be the opportunity for you guys to win some free shift buttons, and of course the shift buttons, you can order those through the main ParadigmShiftCentral.com website, and I'll update you about how to win those midway through. A lot of you are already familiar with that and so forth. And just giving you guys a little bit of news ahead of things. Next week I am not going to do a show, and the the reason for that is because, of course, we normally do the shows live on Sunday evenings. The reason is because Monday morning I will be beginning my adventure out to California to take part in the filming of the Journey to Lucidity 2 Tree of Knowledge movie. And of course, those of you who are familiar, you know this radio thing is just one of the hats that I wear. I'm also maybe some of you don't actually know this, but I am an award-winning Canadian film director. I mean, I don't always mention that, but I mean that's, I'm using my talents to be able to help create the art in the same way, we're talking about conscious hip-hop music and stuff like that. I make movies, I do radio shows, and everybody has got their own talents that they're bringing to the table. So you can check out GoFundMe.com/Journey2Lucidity2 if you have not yet, and please consider supporting that. And supporting that is, the same way you would pay $10, give or take, to go see a movie at a movie theater. This is basically doing that, but to be able to support a fellow conscious artist and being able to do what I love to do. And you're not just helping me, you're helping all the people who are going to see this project in the future, and a simple contribution will give you early access to it. But again, a lot of you guys are already familiar with that, but I'm really excited. And the next thing, since there won't be a show next week, is that I'm planning on doing a live show from the Lucidity Festival. And of course, lucidityfestival.com, you can check that out. Huge shout out to them. And I know I'm going to be seeing some fellow shifters at the festival. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And of course, you can add me at facebook.com/SkullBabylon. I'm always looking forward to connect with more people, and youtube.com/SkullBabylon. So with that said, we got 24 people in the live chat, looking to bring on a few more. But what we will be doing with this episode, those of you who obviously have read the title, you would have seen that it said consciousness and hip hop with Tarek Bibi, and Tarek is a good friend of ours. I should mention this. He was actually within one of the people who we talked about hip hop in the previous episode, which was literally a year ago. It was around the same time when he released a previous album, and it was his birthday. And you can go back and check that episode out as well. But for whatever reason, I haven't heard from Tarek yet, and we're just going to be able to roll with this episode. And if he joins in later, then we'll be able to just see where things go. But with that said, I'm inviting you guys to be able to join me on the show tonight to be able to talk about consciousness and hip-hop. And I will admit, I'll be the first to admit, I am hip-hop is not that's not my expertise. I love it, don't get me wrong, but I mean, there's just so much stuff there to research. I wouldn't really be able to list maybe 5 or 10 actual hip-hop artists outside sort of the mainstream ones, so to speak. So I'm really counting on you guys to be able to join me in tonight's episode, to call in and to not only talk about what hip-hop means to you, the type of inspiration you get out from it, but to plan ahead and actually start picking out particular lyrics from a song that you like, a conscious hip-hop song that you can share on the air. And we will be playing some other songs that I have some samples for, thanks to our good buddy Vaughn Halford, who may be joining us later in the show. He's just getting off work from what I understand. So I got some songs that we'll be playing throughout the show as examples of consciousness within hip-hop. But again, since we won't be able to load up new songs on the fly, I want you guys to be able to share the lyrics of the songs that you guys are inspired by. So we already got a couple members in the queue, and that's Troy and that's Katie. So I'm going to bring them on, really, and just get this ball rolling on this conversation. Let me just take a moment here to reflect if there's anything else I particularly need to think about. Nope, I think we're good. Okay, cool. Okay, so again, obviously, please continue to invite more people into the chat. You guys get comfortable, enjoy yourself, and let's get shifty. So here we go. All right, so I'm going to bring on Troy first, and we're just going to say hello to him, and then we're going to bring on Katie, and then we're going to see what they have to talk about. So, Troy, if you're ready, going to bring you back onto Paradigm Shift Radio. Troy was on a few episodes ago when we were talking about Mysteries of the Universe. That was a good one. Go back and listen to it if you missed it. So, Troy, bring you on to Paradigm Shift Radio. Here we go.
Hey, what's
hello,
going
sir.
on, Brendon? How you doing?
Yo, man, good to hear you. Welcome back.
Good to be on, man. Good to be on. I got those shift buttons, so I'm doing some damage with them down here in New Jersey.
Some damage. No, man. I'm glad to hear. Right on, man. Awesome. All right, so Troy, sit tight for 1 second. We're gonna bring Katie on, and then we're gonna turn this into a group discussion and get things bouncing around here. So, Katie, if you are ready, we're gonna bring you onto the air. Here we go. Hello,
yes,
Katie.
Hi. Yes,
awesome.
hi.
Welcome, Katie.
Thank you. I'm ready. I have some notes and some great discussion material.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, in terms of Paradigm Shift Radio, you guys are pretty familiar. I mean, this isn't really me trying to just interview you guys. This is all of us co-creating this episode together. And like I said, I'm not really the expert on consciousness, consciousness within hip hop. I don't know. Am I an expert of consciousness? Are we ever an expert of anything? That's a discussion in itself. But what I was going to say, you guys are more familiar with the topic of hip hop than I admittedly am. So okay, let's just say Troy, since we brought him on first. Troy, start us off in terms of the topic of consciousness in hip hop. What comes to mind? What is it that you want to be able to tell the people about?
Well, I mean, I'm 36, so I could talk about when I was 5 years old, 6 years old. I remember riding on the school bus to school, and Run DMC was just coming out, and growing up in a New York City area, I got to experience, the shift when, people started putting cardboard down on the sidewalks and break dancing, and it was kind of what is this, and Run DMC kind of started it off, but again, it wasn't really that deep. It was just more of an expression, My Adidas and things like that, where it was great music, but you got to kind of see the evolution of things start to really change. And by the time I was in my late teens is when I saw that whole shift where it was powerful, where people were using words now to send political messages, and you'd go to these shows and it was I don't know, it was just different, I remember going to a Wu-Tang concert and it was fights would break out, but yet you would go to these conscious hip hop concerts and it was just a very different energy, and it was very exciting to be around it, and I just got to experience the evolution of it. And then when it kind of went through the native tongue movement, where it was Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul and a lot of these different groups just really taking it in another direction, and it was exciting times. And then by the time the 2000s, in my experience, came, when it was more like P. Diddy and these kind of artists, Cameron, where the whole industry went backwards again, and it went back into materialism and Mercedes Benzes and shiny suits, and it kind of I kind of backed away from it and kind of stopped following it as much. So when I saw this topic come up again about, and I know there are a lot of new artists out there that are reemerging, so I'm not as versed in these new artists, but I can give my, interpretation or some of my favorite groups, in the 90s that, I have a verse right here I can drop for you guys right now if you want to hear something.
By all means.
It's a song called Thieves in the Night, and it was by Mos Def and Kweli, and the hook on the song was basically, it says, not strong, only aggressive, not free, we're only licensed, not compassionate, only polite, now who's the nicest, not good but well behaved, chasing after death so we can call ourselves brave, still living like mental slaves, hiding like thieves in the night from life, illusions of oasis, making you look twice. And it was just hearing songs like this coming out, it was it just shifted my paradigm back then. So, I just wanted to kind of bring it back, if I will, some of my old school,
For sure. Cool. And we'll pass it over to Katie, and Katie, just sort of setting you up on this. How has hip hop shifted your consciousness?
Yeah, I started listening to Immortal Technique and K Rhino and Vinnie Paz a long time ago, and they really just kind of got me interested in some things. There was a quote from End of Days of Vinnie Paz: "Whoever built the pyramids had knowledge of electrical power. You know that the information they suppress and devour." Now, that really got me thinking, I know about Tesla, and I know about the reasons why oil has been a continuing factor in our environment and the economy, and I just started questioning, all of the things I was hearing in mainstream rap. It's all about, money and drugs and treating women as objects. And then I listen to this kind of, quote-unquote conscious music, and it's a different feel. It's a different message. And, it allowed me to do some research and think about what, the lyrics were teaching me. because that's the difference between conscious and political hip-hop and rap compared to what you would say the mainstream media portrays, and how they use the music to socially control the people, the masses who listen to the music. We all have a choice in what we listen to, but some people just aren't aware that some of this conscious music is really out there because it's so underground.
Yeah. Sure, go ahead.
Duality. I think it's all about duality and like pitting us against each other, you know, and everything has two sides to it. And like I know people were talking about it on Facebook before, like some artists will have a great track, and then another track will come out and it'll be on the negative side, and it's kind of like, why does that happen? And some people say, oh, the music industry, but not only that, I think, like we always say, good and evil are inside both of us, and you know, we're stuck in that paradigm also of good and evil. But yeah, there is a lot of good that is waking people up to the horror show that we're living in now, and you know, it is positive, but at the same time, there's still a lot of negative out there, so we just have to kind of accept it, that good and evil is in all of us, and try to just not be affected by it in a negative way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what I mean, if you would consider this a viable question, like, do you feel that there are particular artists within this day and age who sort of are kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you always get like sort of like those topics of like Illuminati associations with like hip hop music and stuff like that. Do you feel that there are particular artists who are sort of doing like more harm than good? Is what I'm saying, and I guess like take that how you will.
I would like to speak on that. Yes, I would say Jay-Z, Lil Wayne. You know, these people that are promoted by the mainstream, they are doing more harm than good. Just look at their music videos and read their lyrics. See, what I'd like to stress about music is that it affects the body. It affects the mind. And going back to Tesla, he said, you know, music, something about vibrations. And that I question that, going down to the simple fact of music is a vibration. And we can follow a path of what this does to the collective consciousness. So we start with keywords. Well, first we start with the beat of music, and then we start with keywords, and those keywords have messages, and that affects social change in society, and which in turn affects the collective consciousness. Now, when you're listening to music that portrays what, you know, Lil Wayne and you know, these really evil people are saying, you know, drugs and treat women bad, and just look at some of their music videos and what they're portraying. How is that affecting people? How is that, you know, when they're seeing the symbols in the music? I think you've done research and stuff on the symbols that are being used in media. You know, we have to question, what does that mean, and are they being used by the so-called Illuminati?
Yeah, no, there's definite, like, the vibrations, like you say. That's why a lot of this new hip-hop vibrates at a different frequency, and it makes us very, like, agitated and angry on the inside. And like you say, like these artists like Lil Wayne, like I could talk to you guys about like mind control programming and how like before, you know, the guy in Colorado or in Denver that shot the 12 people in the movie theater, if you guys remember that. Well, you know, Lil Wayne had a video like a couple of weeks before where he shot 12 people in a movie theater. Like it's all subliminal mind control programming, you know, so they put that video out. Again, these people are just assets to whoever's controlling everything. And yeah, Lil Wayne is just garbage. He's just like all the little satanic subliminal images, and all these poor kids watch this and they take it in, and it's horrible. And, you know, parents should like protect their kids from this music, but they don't know. They're just like, oh, it's the mainstream and that's what everybody's listening to. But yeah, no, there's some dark things going on subliminally when we listen to this and watch these videos, and it's really horrible.
Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say, Katie, not to put you on the spot, but when you're not talking, your mic's extra sensitive, so we could like hear your breathing, so to speak. So just letting you know. But, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is my first time calling.
Oh,
sorry.
it's all good. Just letting you know. But yeah, no, like even just going back to that, I mean, it is within the topic of consciousness and hip hop, just like the ways how, again, like music is a tool. Hip-hop is a tool, just like anything else. In the same way that you could say, like, a car, a vehicle is a tool. And, if a drunk person gets behind a car or a sober person gets behind the car, it doesn't make the car, like, any less, evil, so to speak. It's the person using it and how they use it. But, yeah, I mean, that is something, I don't even know, like, how much I really wanted to delve into that. Like, just, like, because, I mean, you get into, like, this whole, Illuminati conspiracy sort of thing. But, yeah, like, really sort of, like, focusing on, like, what positive stuff is coming out of the hip hop. I think that is really beneficial. But you're right, like there's some really trippy stuff, like you said, like the fact that, I mean, just sort of reiterating, there was, like you said, there was like a music video of a Lil Wayne music video where there was like a shooting in the movie theater and there's like 12 skeletons like in the seats or something like that. And then
the Homie Still video.
Yeah, and then like within that like next week, like there was like the shooting that happened at the theater, and then like I mean, trust me, I've looked into all that sort of stuff, and I mean even the symbolism of like the Baphomet stuff within the old Jay-Z videos like with Rihanna and stuff. I mean there's a lot of really good research there, and I think for the people who are sort of aware of some of these esoteric themes, it seems that some of it is like not there by accident. So then it's this idea of like why is it there, but then when you think about it again, like if your intention is to program a mass amount of people, what better way than to do it through the music that they're hearing on the radio every single day? That is literally like programming how they think and how they feel, sort of thing. So I mean, yeah, it can understand in that sense. It's understandable why and how hip hop in particular, or just music in general, can be used as a way to sort of transform people. But again, sort of segueing this, like let's talk about the ways that it can transform people positively, that it can enlighten people positively. Yeah. Absolutely. So I mean, yeah, just I know I did actually hear from Tarek, just letting people know Tarek is around, so we will be able to bring him on a little bit later once he gets things set up. But in the meantime, I'd still like to just be able to continue this conversation with you guys. And if you guys have any more quotes or anything that you want to share, please feel free to. But yeah, Troy or Katie, feel free to just continue the conversation. Yeah.
Katie, do you have any quotes you want to drop or?
I just want to share some research I did before we started here. There is a difference between political hip-hop and conscious hip-hop. Political hip-hop delivers a message in kind of a militant fashion. There's certain bands such as the Dead President, Public Enemy, that have the certain way of delivering the music to the people. And then conscious rap, it empowers the people, it empowers the listener to, ask the questions and have the radical social change that comes with asking questions and having the knowledge of a personal self-discovery. And some of those people I'd like to share is K. Rhino, Immortal Technique, Vinnie Paz, Nas, Common, KRS-One, Lauryn Hill, Khalees, and Erykah Badu. And another thing I want to stress, too, is, a lot of people think, it's about a race thing, rap, I can't listen to that because of, whatever racial feelings. This music is for everyone, and it's really great music to listen to instead of what you could just listen to on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Sure, go ahead, Joe.
No, I remember that Public Enemy stuff. It was almost violent. I agree with you. It didn't bring up happiness and love and really stir the conscience like some Common stuff. Common has some great music as well. But even Tupac, people were typing Tupac. People don't understand. Tupac, he was portrayed in the media as this animal, but by age 17 he was already running a chapter of the Black Panthers, and he was very, very ahead of his time, and he broke a lot of the oaths of the Illuminati holes, we'll call them, and that's why he was eliminated, because he wouldn't keep his mouth shut, and he was a threat. I mean, he was going to start his own political party. He was very, very intelligent, but most people don't know that side of him because he was just portrayed, spitting at cameras and on the negative side, but he was definitely shifting a lot of consciousness in very positive ways, but we know how the media, portrays people when they find them to be a threat, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you mentioned Lauryn Hill, Katie, as well. Like, there's a lot of I don't even know the full story, but I know there was a lot of pressure on her after she was so adamantly just like speaking out on some particular topics. Do you know much about that, Katie? Could you maybe just fill us in?
Yeah, I do. I heard the same thing a couple of years ago, that she was just out saying things that she probably shouldn't have been saying. Going into the music industry and Tupac, he basically was murdered because he didn't want to play the game. And, you have to understand, how do these people get so big and how do they get so many followers and all this promotion? Well, yeah, it's a quid pro quo. What are you going to give up? There's been many times that people say, well, I sold my soul for the devil. Kanye said that. You can look it up on YouTube. I think that there's a reason why all of these conscious hip-hop remain underground, because they're not promoted simply for the messages that they're creating. And, you can do a lot of research into what the music industry really is all about. And you have to think, are people doing this for the bad intentions of just fame and money? Or is it about the music and about, creating a positive message and creating a community? Because that's what we have to really look at, too, is the following of the community of mainstream versus the community of these conscious rappers. And who are those people that are following the different rappers? What kind of people and social changes are we creating with the certain music that we're listening to?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Troy, anything to add on that?
Yeah, no, and Lauryn Hill, she did go in. Like, she released a song, I'm sure a lot of people don't know, it's called Israel, and it, stirred a lot of controversy because they tried to say that she was anti-Semitic, but it had really nothing to do with that. But, that song, after she released that, it was like they tried to just destroy her, say she was crazy, and then she also, went to Disney. I don't know if, in the United States, the Disney/military industrial complex. She was at Disney, and she saw, how horrible of a place that is when you go to Disney World or Disneyland, one of them. Behind the scenes, all these workers are, just drinking and smoking, and they're not about children or anything, and it's dirty, and it's not but when you go outside it looks so beautiful at Disney. And she spoke out about that, how disgusting of an experience it was at Disney. And again, in the United States you don't talk bad about Disney because it's a military complex. It's that's where they bring a lot of children through and make them stars, and your Britney Spears and all of them, Timberlakes, and then they build them up. And I could talk about that, how everything is the princess and the warrior with Disney, but when she went against them, that was really the thing that they tried to make her look like she was insane. But she's a very, very deep artist, and again, just another person that you don't get to see her other side because of the media. But yeah, these people are definitely positive, but we don't see it that way. Well, at least the majority doesn't. So
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing thing, when you just sort of look back on how, societies have been changed, and we always think of, revolutionaries and, people who, went out of their way and stood up against the government. Now, through technology, through the fact that anybody can access a computer and a recording device, we're not fighting a revolution in the same way, whereas, before, back in the past, it was storm the castle, storm the Bastion, or something like that. Whereas now, the revolution is through the art and through the message that we're sharing, where we're encouraging people to take back the sovereign power that is within them and to just be able to inspire them in so many ways. And we do actually have Tarek ready to be able to come on the show. I wanted to be able to just sort of play a sample of some music, some hip-hop music, by Deadprez, and I think Katie, did somebody here mention Deadprez? Was that?
I did. Yeah.
You did. Okay, cool. All right. So, do you know the song, Katie? No Way as the Way. Do you know that song?
No, I haven't heard that one yet.
Really? Okay, cool. All right. Well, just to sort of set the mood here, I just want to actually be able to play a little bit of that. And, of course, for anybody who's listening to this show, just to give you a heads up in terms of how the production of the show works, every time you listen to a show through the original live recording or through the original blog talk recorded after the show airs, the audio files are going to sound a little bit distorted when I play music. So if you want to hear the cleaner version of it, then wait until I post the revised version of each episode, which is the version that doesn't have the intro music in the same way. It goes right into the episode, and that will also be the same version that you'll find up on YouTube as well. So, I mean, if you enjoy the music and you want to hear it again, then definitely go back and listen to the show once it's reposted, and, of course, reshare that as well. So we're going to bring Tarek on after we just sort of set this up and just like take a quick moment here to just sort of remind ourselves what hip-hop can sound like. And then Tarek's going to join us, and then we're actually going to share one of his songs shortly after. So, Troy and Katie, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm not taking you guys off the air yet. I would actually be able to have you guys join in on the conversation as Tarek gets involved with it too. So I'm just going to mute you guys for now, and then we'll just come back briefly and we'll talk. We'll talk about what what this song is really talking about here. So I mean, I can understand that not everybody is super familiar with hip hop. So if this is new to you, then please enjoy. And this is Deadprez, No Way as the Way. So here on Paradigm Shift Radio, enjoy.
My way might not be your way, but it's okay, it's alright. Your way might not be my way, but it's okay, it's alright. Yeah, I used to go to church, but the church didn't quench my thirst. Mama taught me to put God first, but she never tried to block my search. I was curious, young but serious. Why is religion so mysterious? Why is black life so hard? They say you're not supposed to question God. Well, is it okay to question the pastor? Was it passed down from the slave master? It was only the truth I was after, but I never could get a straight answer, so I couldn't relate to the sermon. Put down the Bible, then I started learning about life. Didn't know where the path would lead, but I had to get off my knees. My way might not be your way, but it's okay, it's alright. Your way might not be my way, but it's okay, it's alright. I build with the 5%ers, on the guard within us, it's no limits. Studied the metal netted from Kemet, all saw remembered. Smoked herb with the Rastafarians, grew my locks, became a vegetarian. Following the dial, dealing with the Babalao, jewels being handed to an innocent child. My mind is a Buddhist temple, the truth is simple. I try to be principled, walking with a warrior spirit. Ain't nothing like learning from first-hand life experience. I'm a realist, that's all I deal with. Respect and truth, that's all I build with. A child of the universe, my religion is life and it's just as valid. I strive for balance. My way might not be your way, but it's okay, it's alright. Your way might not be my way, but it's okay, it's alright. I gotta admit, I don't know in the end which way it's gonna go. While we sit by the project window instead of living off the land with my kinfolk. Is there even a master plan? An unseen hand, is God a man? Some say that's sacrilegious. Same folks selling us lies about Christmas, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, just so the capitalists can make money. They say God will take care of it, but you a terrorist if you say the same thing in Arabic. It's so hypocritical. It's a miracle. Listen to the message in the spirituals. Wade in the water. I'm following Miss Tubman and Nat Turner. I'm praying for my freedom and headed for the border. My way might not be your way, but it's okay. It's alright. Your way might not be my way, but it's okay. It's alright.
All right, So there we go. So for those of you, again, who are curious and want to actually hear the full version of that song, run a YouTube search on Deadprez, that's Deadprez, No Way as the Way. And definitely check out more of that stuff. So we're going to bring on Troy, we're going to bring Katie back on, and then Tarek's going to be joining us in the next minute. But just to get some feedback on, what that song meant to them. So Troy, Katie, bringing you back onto the air. So whoever wants to talk first, you guys tell me. When you hear a song like that, what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I've been a big fan of Deadprez for a long time, so I know they were off of Meat like 15 years ago. They were kind of, I guess they were kind of ahead of their time also in terms of switching the music. And I know a lot of people think that they were like, black against white, and they got misinterpreted a lot of times. But again, that's just the media taking their words and trying to twist it to try to disempower them. But again, they were just positive thinkers, just trying to move us in that next direction.
Definitely, well said. And Katie?
Yeah, they're just they're revolutionary. They're allowing us to have a question and have a voice, and they don't have to be corporate controlled and controlled by the record labels anymore. They can have a voice, they can have a following, and really help people through their music.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. You're right. Like the fact that they don't really have to take instructions from somebody else like that. Again, that's the amazing part of this, is that maybe people will hear this show and say, hey, I want to be able to make my own hip hop songs. And we do have friends within the Paradigm Shift Radio community who do sort of do things like that, whether, even if you're just writing some poetry, just sort of add a little bit of a beat to that, and next thing you know, it's turning into hip hop and stuff. So that's something that personally I've been thinking about that for quite some time. I would love to be able to lay down some tracks. So stick around and maybe you'll see that in the near future. But with that said,
do it.
You bet, man. You bet. So let's bring on our buddy Tarek, and just to sort of set this up, I mentioned Tarek was on the show last year, and it was his birthday last week, so of course, happy birthday to him. And he recently released a new album that you can check out online at lsdivinity.bandcamp.com, and also his other main website is tarekbibi.com, and that's B-I-B-I. And we're gonna bring him on, and I know he's gonna fit in nicely with this conversation because his music is absolutely all about inspiration. But not only that, it has some very insightful spiritual themes, some very shifty themes weaved through it. So with that said, Tarek, we're going to bring you onto the air, and Katie and Troy, we're going to keep you guys in on the conversation. So we're just going to expand the circle here a little bit more. So Tarek, if you're ready, bringing you back onto Paradigm Shift Radio. Here we go. Hello, Tarek.
Thank you, Brendon, so much for having me on the show. You guys are having an awesome conversation, and I love all the work that you're doing. So honored and humbled.
Right on, man. No, it's good. It's good to have you on. And of course, like I said,
thanks, Troy.
Yeah, say hello. And of course, like I said, man, happy birthday to you. I like the fact that on your birthday, you are the one who is sharing the gifts with other people. I like that theme. Something I agree with, definitely. So, But yes, Tarek, please, wherever you feel, again, just reminding people that this isn't me necessarily interviewing. This is us co-hosting, co-creating this episode. So you heard a bit of the conversation once you jumped in, but we got that song off your new album that we can play, and we can set that up. But anything that you just want to mention off the top in terms of consciousness and hip-hop and how it's helping change the world we live in.
Yeah, man, it's just so inspiring. I remember once I went to New York and just passed by, and I'm like, really, that's the ghettos where all this stuff that changed millions of people's lives came from, and hip hop music became this universal thing, like you guys were saying earlier. It didn't matter what culture, and it united people all over the world in a way that nothing else has. These kids from this kind of neighborhood did that. And it shows you how spirit or the universe or that divinity within us can come out of nothing like a diamond out of charcoal and do miraculous things. So what a cool platform to be a part of. And I'm excited to hear your poetry, by the way, Brendon, and your raps together when you put that together. But and just, yeah, man, like music was always there for me. Like no one understood me. I was that quiet kid. Parents didn't understand me. They thought it was weird. So music was there all along. Like Bob Marley's songs would reach my heart. John Lennon's music reaches our hearts. Like these are the guys, are the forefathers, the guys that came before us. Like, you know, Nirvana came at a time and just got all the teenagers to be able to express all the crap they were feeling. So music was there for us, and it's so nice to be a part of that and to use it in the way that it was first initially inspired by spirits to be used, to share wisdom, to share inspiration. It was poetry at the beginning. It was like all sorts of things. And hip hop did include like that ego of like, I'm better than you, and that was a part of it. But now it's like, really, that's all it is? Because it used to be a lot more, and that's fine, because it's almost like it's reminding us of how powerful music is and how powerful words are, and the fact that it's been taken over completely and just bastardized and used for, you know, wicked reasons goes to show how powerful it is. So if people are still listening to that, I mean, they're not even, I would love to reach them, but they're not even in the audience that I'm catering to. So we're catering to the people that are, you know, somewhat awakened or awakening or have already been awakened, and you know, get them to shine their light even more through music, through words, through consciousness. I look at it as almost like we're all leaders. People are stepping up as leaders, and it's like, hey, those are our people, and if we're not leading them, if no one's stepping up in hip hop and saying this is what it needs to be said, you know, some people are just going to flock to what's cool, flock to what's on the radio. So people like yourself, Brendon, who like step up and you're like, hey, I heard, you know, a radio show and it was pretty shitty. I'm going to create my own radio show that's going to be positive and empowering and change up the whole format and make it for the people, by the people, etc. That's what we're doing with music. So inspiring times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Troy, Katie, if you guys want to jump in, by all means.
I have some lyrics to share.
All right.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Okay, this is from Immortal Technique, the song called The Martyr. And Immortal Technique was really, he really changed my way of thinking. And this is the main song that really changed me. And the lyrics are, so now that it's proven that a soldier of a revolution or a head of an empire disguised in a constitution cannot escape the retribution or manipulation of the self-appointed rulers of the planet's corporation. So I'm going to need every generation to put your hands up, because you can only get them off your back when you stand up.
Yeah.
Now, that really got me thinking and questioning, and it made me realize that we have the power, every generation, now, today, to realize what's going on, use this music of conscious rap and hip-hop and for the good of society, and help change our way of thinking, the collective consciousness, and how we use music and share music.
And well, I just got, you know, with Tarek, sort of take us back a little bit in where your original inspiration sort of came from. I know you sort of touched upon that, but, you know, like, just give us a little bit of background. Like, how long have you been working on mastering your craft, so to speak, and how has it evolved over these years?
Thanks, brother, for the question. And those, I love that song. I love the whole album, The Martyr. You guys could just, anyone listening, you could just check it out on the radio. So on YouTube, the whole album's there, very powerful. So for me, it was grade 10, man. Like, I grew up with like Metallica and hip hop and heavy metal were like the things that I would go to. And I remember just feeling like there was all this bottled up emotions and things that I needed to say, but like no one would, you know, even get me, or couldn't really connect with anyone that would just receive what I needed to share. So I just kept it all to myself. But then I met a friend who was into hip hop, and he encouraged me to start writing stuff. So it started off kind of like silly and corny, but then very soon it became very therapeutic for me to express, and it almost became like this, you know, like artists, we just channel the stuff. We're not really thinking so much as channeling the information from wherever that source comes from, and it became like, you know, a message with a meaning, with you know, that would be therapy for me, which would be helpful for the listener. Starting grade 10, very unstructured because I was very right brain. You know, school was a nightmare because I couldn't follow the structure or get the left brain stuff. But, you know, it's important. We need to balance both. So I started slowly with poetry, because poetry completely has no structure, at least the way I did it. It was so free. I could do whatever, but express deeper emotions. And then, you know, when you get a beat, it's like, okay, now I have to break it down into this and this and this. So it just kept evolving, you know, since grade 10 writing stuff, and then since 99, you know, starting to I wasn't even trying, like everything was kind of set up. A friend of ours took us to the studio, recorded songs with us, and so it's almost like the universe is setting things up for me to do this, and I've been resisting it actually, Brendon, for like 10 years now, and only on my birthday did I officially surrender to that nagging spirit of mine that is like, this is healing. This is your higher calling. And on my birthday, March 24th, I launched my new album. I launched my actual career, and not just as a conscious rap artist, but we're taking it next level, Brendon. I'm calling myself a consciousness artist, meaning we're raising consciousness through the music. There's healing frequencies encoded and all sorts of amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's where I think, you know, there's sort of different categories of hip hop, absolutely. And what you're doing, you know, you're sort of, because you're not the only one doing it. There's other people who are doing it who are equally interested in a lot of these paradigm shifty topics, and you know, interested in things like personal alchemy and literally, you know, things like astral projection, lucid dreaming, chakra healing, sound vibration, you know, all that, thoughts creating reality, all that type of like really empowering stuff. And it's exciting for me to hear that as your music's evolving, like you said, it's not just the lyrics that are changing, but it's actually like the production that is changing too. And I know, you know, within the topic of Paradigm Shift Radio, we've talked in the past the idea of, like, even Katie was talking about it earlier, you know, sound actually is a healing medium, and when you're working with certain frequencies, they're going to resonate with the body in certain ways. And there's even, maybe we should touch upon this just briefly since it's relative to the conversation, like the difference between like the music industry using the 440 hertz versus the 432 hertz. But Tarek, just passing it back to you, how is your music literally being able to function as a healing tool, a healing medium for the people who are hearing it?
Yeah, Brendon, like I did a lot of research, like you guys were talking about earlier, about Illuminati and the frequencies and how they totally sabotaged it. So everything I researched, all the, you know, satanic rituals they do with the CDs that attach demonic entities to a CD, so when you have it at home, there's something haunting you, or the frequencies that keep you at that lower vibration, all that stuff, I took it and I was like, okay, how can I use this to flip it and turn it into a positive? So everything they did, I would do the complete opposite. So if they had lower frequencies on throughout the tracks, I would literally have my hands, and I do healing work, you know, if it's been for the last 8 years, helping people heal through energy healing and all sorts of different modalities. So I would have the loving frequencies throughout the songs on each track. Me and Nico, the guy who co-produced and recorded a lot of the songs with me, we would do a ritual. We're like smudging. We're surrendering ourselves to our higher selves. We're setting a prayer that every person that listens to the song, you know, has their heart activated, their Christ, Buddha consciousness, whatever you want to call it. So we're taking everything negative, flipping it, and using it to the infinite next level of the power. Music on its own is really powerful, but what if we add all those other things to it? You know, all the CDs have been charged with sacred geometry. You know, we set the intention that whoever listens to it is getting like a full chakra healing. There's chakra healing involved in each track. Each track represents a chakra. So, did I answer your question?
That's deep, man. I gotta get this album. I need a copy of this album. Seriously, can't wait to hear it, man.
Man. Thank you.
Yeah. And obviously, just in response to Troy, for anybody who does want to be able to support Tarek and be able to experience the album again, lsdivinity.bandcamp.com. But you can check out the link for that within the production notes of this episode on Blog Talk as well, and posting that into the live chat and everything. But yeah, you can sample it on there. And I think that's amazing, the idea that you sort of structure an entire album around the chakras, literally kind of working through them. It's a super, super cool thing. But again, just kind of putting the talking stick out there. I don't have a particular question. If anybody just has something to share, by all means.
I just want to say it's about time, man. Good stuff. I appreciate that, because I feel you with the calling. I had a calling a couple of years ago to do something similar, and I tried it, but like the person that I was collabing with was like very negative and on the material side of things, and like he wanted to make an album with me, and I had to back away because I saw the direction he was going with it, and it's just tough because there's just not a lot of, I'd say, people on that level, where you can collaborate. You found somebody that you guys together were able to do something like this, so I'm just looking forward to hearing it, man, because somebody needs to just change things and stop complaining about it.
That's it, man. Thank you for sharing that. And I know for me, like, again, that the signs are there, the opportunities are there. You put it out there through prayer, through intention. And like, I just met one guy, and that one guy became the guy who took all my like not so great songs quality wise and just took them to that infinite next level. So, all the opportunities are there, and we put out an intention to connect with the right people. And I swear, like, they just keep, I literally asked like Source, God, Universe to like record the whole album, and the way the whole thing came together was unbelievably synchronistic. It's like, it's choosing who's going to get on the album and how it's such a beautiful thing when you surrender that and kind of trust and go with the flow.
Yeah,
definitely.
Man, I believe it.
Yeah, totally. And it's funny, I'm just kind of reading in the live chat, and there's a lot of people getting inspired by this conversation, but I was actually hearing some people in the live chat talking about the idea of making a paradigm shift group album where everybody sort of like submits like some sort of like poem or song or something like that. And I think that's an excellent idea, and I'm totally down for that. So I mean, like there's something so fulfilling about creating, and I think that's because it's when we're doing it, we're not just doing it for ourselves. Like, we're doing it to like reconnect with that creator nature that we already are. It sort of reminds us of what we're capable of, the idea that we can birth new realities into this reality. And I was kind of talking about this earlier in the week, that this idea that we are sort of like this middleman between the etheric imagination of consciousness and the manifestation of it into this material world. The idea that there could be almost like a personality associated with a creation, with an artistic project, in this case with Tarek's album, so to speak. And like you said, Tarek, you're kind of like, it is yours, but you're also like the conduit for it as the artist. So, I mean, in that sense, as the artist, there's this sense of responsibility to be able to sort of like tap in to that idea that like we are just sort of service of consciousness itself, to be able to bring what it wants to express into this world through our actions. It's not gonna record itself onto a computer. We have to like bring it into our voice and verbalize the message and say like, like this is not simply my song. This is a song that consciousness is trying to communicate back onto itself. And again, whether this is actually music or whether this is simply like a picture, whether this is a story, whether this is art, like again, this episode obviously it's about hip hop. But you're right, this is about just like the creation process in general. But with that said, we do have the track off Tarek's album. So Tarek, just anything else that you want to share, and let's set this up so people can experience it.
Thanks, man. I just wanna. I had like this like 30-second lyric that basically sums up music and the power of it. Can I share it real quick?
Yeah, totally, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thank you. So no one's heard it like yet, but so here we go. Musically connected, harmonics perfected, demonics rejected, true self-expression. Musically connected, harmonics perfected, demonics rejected, true True self, I can't remember, true self-reflection, heavenly selected, divinely perfected. Do I need corrections? No, I need a blessing. Nico plays the keys, unlocking mysteries like Leo da Vinci's 5 to 8 frequencies. Music is sacred, used through the ages by pagans and sages, natives and ancients. First there was the sound creating all creation, singing through slave shifts, practicing patience, knowing love will save this, alchemically basic, forgiving mistakes like hatred from racists, call me crazy, but music raised me, music saved me since I was a baby, everyone a note in God's symphony, so I'll sing till I'm free and peace will all be.
Oh, nice, man. Oh.
Heart chakra right there.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sweet,
thanks,
man.
guys. So the song that you're gonna share is a remix. You guys know John Lennon's song "Imagine." It's a classic. It sums up like that's the voice of consciousness to me. Is like uniting oneness. Imagine this new world that we are co-creating right now. And we took that song and we're like, we need to, bless this forward and share it with the new generation because those were the guys before us. And hip hop is the new like language of that is commonly being used. So we gave it like a hip hop twist. So that's the song you guys are gonna hear. I'm on the first 2 verses, and we have a wonderful established artist here called Michael Moon, who looks like John Lennon, sounds like him, who does the hook for the song. So, and that's the third eye chakra. So while we're listening to it, it does have a third eye chakra healing in it. So if you guys start seeing more visuals and stuff, you'll know why.
You got a little om chanting in the background.
I'm gonna do a whole new album with chants and mantras and affirmations. Nice. But this one it's still kind of very hip hop with a heart based and consciousness, and still that aggressive, like Immortal Technique, rebellious nature too.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, of course, everybody just sort of not only listen to this, but almost you're more than welcome to sort of meditate while listening to this. Really, really sort of connect to it. So if you're in that place where you're comfortable, maybe you're listening to the show in the future and you're sort of sitting on a bus going about your day, then, just kind of really take a moment to just take this in and appreciate what Tarek has helped manifest into this reality to share with us on behalf of consciousness itself, so to speak. So this is Tarek Bibi's song "Imagine," and this is off the new album, which can be found at lsdivinity.bandcamp.com. And we'll be back shortly after this to continue the conscious conversation. So everybody here, I'm just going to put you guys on mute and setting this up, and here we go. So please enjoy.
Dropped all their guns. Imagine every citizen started to rise up. Imagine every doctor refused to push drugs. Imagine all the gangsters refused to be thugs. Imagine every child was raised and shown love. Imagine all the prophets came back from up above. Imagine guys didn't feel the need to act tough. Imagine that life didn't have to be this rough. Connecting all the dots, unifying all the parts. Imagine no religion, we just followed our own hearts. Imagine we were told the truth right from the start. Imagine love-based music at the top of the charts. Imagine politicians work for the people. A nation of leaders no longer sheeple. Imagine no more lies, cause everyone is see-through. Imagine you're in war, but decide to be peaceful. Imagine all the people living worlds. Imagine communicating without using words. Imagine solar gazing grass beneath our own feet. Imagine no starvation cause we don't need to eat. Imagine no more jobs, we only did what we loved. Imagine no race, no class, no first and no last. Imagine money became a thing of the past, and if you try to pay with it, people would just laugh. Imagine we turn this place into what they call heaven. Imagine fear was something that we laughed at, and being weird was not something that we laughed at. Imagine every obstacle we move past that. Newspapers were inspiring and heartfelt, and what we watched on TV would make our heart melt. Imagine no more labels, we're perfect imperfections, and everyone's a savior, no one God up in heaven.
Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as.
Yeah, imagine everybody coming together, singing the same song for a chance to make it better. Imagine MCs and singers around the globe flow into one beat that everybody knows. Imagine the power of synchronized minds aligned, spitting their rhymes designed to bend time. Imagine we return to the 432 like our ancient ancestors devoted our lives to truth. Imagine LL, Pac and Bruce Lee collaborating minds through rhymes and techniques. Imagine the degree of power we would see if indigos would focus the gift of ADD. Imagine a solution for the social confusion delivered through the music in every institution. We will be a resolution for the sake of evolution. Hip hop is the movement.
Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world
We'll live as one.
All right. Well, needless to say, I am sure I am not the only one who felt some tingling sensations running up the spine on that one. So, of course, huge shout out, huge congratulations to Tarek. That is the song Imagine off of his newest album, which again can be found at lsdivinity.bandcamp.com. So we're going to bring Tarek back onto the air, and we'll also bring Katie, and we'll also bring Troy back onto the air. So, Tarek, anything you want to say? To be honest, I'm kind of immediately curious to get the feedback from Troy and Katie as well.
Same,
All right, Troy, Katie, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I was blown away. I mean, this is the kind of music that I love listening to. It has a message, and it has the vibrations of good feeling music, and I'd rather listen to this than anything on the radio.
Awesome. And, Troy, do you got anything to add into that? If you're still there? Not sure if he's there. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, no, I agree that that was awesome. Tarek, is there a possibility of a song like that ending up on mainstream radio? What do you think?
Mainstream. See, here's the thing. I think Brendon, like, it's been so taken over. Like, until so it's almost like two worlds are gonna coexist for now. And the one world is the one where people actually do want, on a deeper level, to remain ignorant to what's happening to them, to be lied to by politicians, to be poisoned by corporations and food and all that. And then there's the new world where it's like, no, we know the truth, we demand the truth, we want nothing but higher vibration in our music, in our food, and that's the new world that we're slowly co-creating, and it's happening more and more rapidly. People are demanding that. So, those kind of people already are not on as much on the radio. They're not watching cable TV. They're not believing politicians. So they're on radio shows like this. They're on YouTube looking for artists. My iPod is filled with artists that I've heard at open mics in my local community, artists that I've connected with through YouTube. Like that's the new world. It's regular people aligning with their heart's calling. And I mean, it's playing in our community's radio. You know what I mean? So that's a dream to me. It's on the Paradigm Shift radio. That's you know what I mean? So, but like if it makes it to, I know some artists say like, bless the artists that haven't sold out and made it on the radio. But I have a feeling like almost everyone, they have this like, you don't know what happens in the industry. They all are aware of what happens when you sign up. And it's like it seems like there's artists that do sell out, but remain true to their heart's callings, and then there's the ones that don't and love the influence to negatively influence people. So I really don't know how that works. What do you guys think? Is it possible to have an artist that is, really popular, really mainstream on our radio, on television, that hasn't sold out?
That's a good question. Katie, I'm going to bring Troy back on. That was my mistake. I had a technical button switch up there. So let's bring Troy just back into this conversation, and I think this is him. Troy, is that you? Are you back?
I'm back.
There you go. Okay, cool, man.
I just want to throw it out there, like.
Go ahead, dude.
Tarek, like I knew that track was going to be hot before I even heard it, because I can tell you've done work on yourself. Like, this is all about going inside, doing the work on yourself, getting yourself where you need to be, and then things just aligned. And no, that track was crazy. I like the references in there. You definitely have this seasoned kind of style to you. Like you said, it took you 10 years to make the album, but you just sound like you've been doing it for 10 years, man. It sounds great.
Man. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all the loving feedback. Thank you.
No doubt. But regarding that question, that's going to be difficult, because we know that everything on TV is controlled, and until we take back the TV wave, I just don't see it happening. But the great thing is, with the internet now, at least there's opportunities for you to do it your own way, and that's the way it's got to be, word of mouth. And I think everybody on this radio show right now needs to try to share your music with everyone, and we need to set off a chain reaction of vibrations, and that's where you're gonna get where you need to be right now in terms of, obviously, monetarily. You need to be compensated to support yourself. So, I definitely think that album's going to explode, though. Just my opinion.
Brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. And that's a great point. Like, I hear a lot of artists, like, they put their heart and soul into an album, and it's like, today I was at I was looking at a piece of art, and it was $700, and I was looking at it, and I was like, I was at the yoga show, and we got to perform that same song, and people were like, hey, we want this. And I hear this a lot. People say, I'm not really into hip-hop, but I loved what you were saying. So it's not even about the music. It's like, are you saying, like Brendon, you were saying, like, this is a reflection of what consciousness is sharing with us, what it's wanting to tell us in not just as a feeling, but we're putting it into words, we're putting it into beats, and we're making it through music. So I looked at the piece of art, and I was like, it was $700 for that piece of art. And I was looking at my CD, and I was like, wow, my CD could change people's lives on many levels, including the healing that's in it. And I was like, why is it being sold just for like $25 or $15? And then there's some people that at the open mics, like, their heart and soul's in the music, like, it connects you to a higher place, it opens up your heart, and they're like, I hate to do this to you guys, but I'm charging $5 for this, I'm charging 10. So we need to change that. We need to support each other. We, just like with organic food, if everyone demanded organic food, like in other parts of the world where they just, banned, genetic manipulated foods, like, we have the power to demand, higher vibration music, and, whoever's supplying it is just honoring what their heart is saying. This is what you need to do. So you supply it because your heart wants it, and it's the people that are demanding the truth now more than ever through on all levels, including music. But definitely to honor it, and I'm all about thriving doing what you love. So if we all each did what we loved and cleared our crap about, oh, I'm not going to charge because I love doing this. This is not no, like, let's only do what we love, and let's charge, what the value of it. Let's own our value, own our gifts, and I'm speaking to myself here, and thrive doing that, because if we each only did what we loved and we all thrived doing it, then the whole world would be a whole better place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, man. For sure. Yeah, just sort of like changing the way we play the game. And it definitely starts. It starts like it's happened. It's been said before, like, we are pioneering stuff here, and we are really just like the vanguard in terms of utilizing technology and changing the way of how we promote ourselves, how like commerce works throughout the internet, and how our messages have spread. But I think, going back to the idea, can stuff like this show up on the mainstream? We can plant it with little seeds here and there. Whether or not it's going to catch on, I don't think it's totally the objective. But even if you can just get the attention of a few people, and in the meantime, just continue to create our own media, which of course, is exactly what Paradigm Shift Radio is. And I was just kind of thinking, I saw somebody else posting something about this, because there is actually a song that's kind of out there right now that's very popular. It's a song by Pharrell Williams, and it's a song called Happy. And apparently, just based on from what I've understood, as popular as that song is, it's like rarely played on the radio for whatever reason, despite the fact that, it's all about like positivity and just sort of, like stepping into your truth sort of thing. But yeah, and I mean, there's no point getting frustrated. It's okay to observe how things are, but it's just this idea of adapt and overcome, as I commonly like to say. So, just hack the matrix, so to speak. But yeah, absolutely. And,
you're right.
I know we got plenty more to talk about, and we do actually have a few more callers who would like to be able to join us in the conversation, and I'd absolutely love to be able to hear from those callers, and we'll get to that in a minute. With about 40 minutes left in the show, I just want to be able to remind you guys, I mentioned this earlier in the show, about the Paradigm Shift buttons, because of course later in on the episode we will be giving you guys a chance to win your batch of free Paradigm Shift buttons, as we do every week through Paradigm Shift Radio. And the simple way that you can do that, as I'm posting in the live chat now, is to send a message to facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio and just tell us a little bit about yourself, if you want to, how you found out about the show, what you think about it, and let us know that you want to be entered into the button draw, and I will enter your name into the draw. If you've already entered it into before, then don't worry about it. Your name's already in there. And of course, if you want to order the buttons, you can do that at ParadigmShiftCentral.com/buttons and use the promo code PSR. And of course, those are the same way, the same way that Tarek is using his music and giving that to people so that they can take home and enjoy and appreciate and use it as a portal to connect to their higher selves. That's exactly what the buttons are doing on just a more sort of micro scale, in the sense that it's only $1 a button, but you give those to people, they spark conversation, and then it links them back into this project. It even links them right back into this very episode, which will then thus link them into the entire community, and of course even Tarek's music itself. So it's a really inspirational way in terms of, as I mentioned, in terms of hacking the matrix. That's one of the most effective ways that I've been able to sort of conjure up, so to speak, and definitely a lot of success coming out of that. And I know Tarek's actually got some buttons on his way to him too, so I'm looking forward to getting those to him, to having him be able to sport those as well. But yeah, of course, again, for everybody, just send a message, facebook.com/Paradigm Shift Radio, and order them online through the main website. You guys know how it works, so of course. And Tarek, I'll just pass the mic over to you, and then we'll bring some other callers onto the air, and we'll see guys, what it is that they want to add. Troy, do you got to head out?
Yeah, I got to head out, man. I got to get up at 5:30. I got to bounce off. I just want to say, great show, Tarek. Great meeting you, Katie.
Thank you, Troy.
Great conversation. And I'll definitely pick up your album tomorrow, man. And
Thank you, Troy.
I sent you a friend request, so I want to keep in touch with you on Facebook. So.
Thank you, Troy. Bless you, man.
I'll try to promote the album in the New York, New Jersey area. I'll definitely
brother, thank you, man.
For you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, man. You got it. Good talking to you
Thanks a lot,
guys.
Troy.
Have a great night.
Thanks, Troy. Blessings, man.
You got it. Bye.
Awesome. And I'll post a link for everybody who's on the show tonight. Their profiles will be posted into the YouTube version of this episode once it's online. And just for those of you who instantly want to be able to connect with Tarek himself, you can find him at facebook.com/Mr. Miraculous, and spelled the way it sounds. So feel free to add him and connect with him. But yeah, Tarek, just passing the mic back to you. Anything else that you just want to be able to remind the people of? Just anything.
Yeah, just to be clear, that is Mr. like Mister, and I definitely want folks to check out the YouTube because we're actually creating a really powerful video for that song, Imagine, and my friend Josh, who's an awesome graphic designer, is doing an animated video for that song. So he's going to make it even more powerful. Visuals are powerful, and the song's powerful, and the healing there is powerful. So to take it even further, so we're on Facebook, just add me, Tarek Bibi, or facebook.com/Mr. Miraculous, or just type in LS Divinity on Facebook, or my name, Tarek Bibi, on YouTube. And I'm really excited about that video. It's going to come out in a month from now, and definitely the buttons, man. Like Back to the Buttons is that was my birthday present to myself. I always go, when I'm in the subway and I just look at my clothes, I'm like, I am not expressing who I am just by what I'm wearing. So one button that has something that means something to me just makes me feel like, hey, I'm not just wearing something with no meaning. Like I'm expressing it, and the sacred geometry in it is not only going to spread through my being when I'm wearing it on my clothes or on my bag, but like through everyone else that's in the area. So
sure, man.
Really excited about that. And this is the very beginning. We're just scratching the surface of what's possible. And music is such a powerful tool, and there's that concept of uniting. I don't know what the number is, like 140,000 beings.
Right.
We're like a big percentage of us is water. So imagine thousands of people all over the world just raising their vibrations through high vibration music, which affects their being, which affects the consciousness, which creates this powerful ripple. So I think, I hear it a lot in people's talks, and it is through music. So through dance, through singing, that's the medium that's really going to spread those waves of consciousness that, how we're all connected, and raise the vibrations to a point where there is no turning back. It's like, that's it. The tsunami of love is taking over, and it's like you either ride with it or get swept up in it. So.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, like going back, I mean, we haven't actually talked about it in a while, but like the whole 100 monkey effect, like that is us. That is not just a theory. That is us. And it becomes more real every day through the actions we take. And of course, listening to a show like this, we want you to be inspired. That is what the show is about. It's about inspiration, education, and empowerment. So you hear a guy like Tarek, you see what he's doing. As Troy mentioned, a big part of this is being able to work on yourself so that you can continue to be a prominent fountain of love, to be able to give back to other people, and to literally be like a sovereign cosmic citizen, if you want to think about it that way. Like, are you doing what you can? And sometimes it's the little things that make the big difference. And like I said earlier, maybe that can just be helping a friend who needs your help, or just calling your mom and talking to your mom. I mean, Noah will always talk about that. Like, our spiritual path is not always about like these super big things. Sometimes it's about like the most like little things, the relationships that we have with the people close to us, and then just expanding outwards from there. But yeah, just of course we can talk about this more and more. And with that said, I just want to pass this over to Katie before we bring on a couple other callers. Katie, is there anything else that you just want to hit upon?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, Tarek, for creating your music and sharing it with the world. And to everyone, just understand that we have the power as people to make a change in this world, and it does go down to what we're listening to, and knowing that the music affects us on a subconscious level, which does in fact affect us on the collective consciousness. And if we can listen to the right kind of music, well, we can change the world. So again, I just want to say thank you, and happy belated birthday, Tarek.
Oh, thank you so much, Katie. You're very welcome, and I just appreciate the support. I'd love to connect, and yeah.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, Katie. I mean, if you want to stick around, we can keep you sticking around. I'm not kicking you off the air, so it's up to you.
Oh, no. There's callers that have questions. Yep, I gotta go.
Okay, all right, okay. Thanks a lot, Katie. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Katie. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
And even what Katie's mentioning, the idea of just listening to things repetitively in a positive manner. I mean, that's something we've touched upon this before, but this is like almost like a practical tip when you sort of look at like the constant bombardment of negativity being thrown at us by mainstream media. You turn on the 6 o'clock news and the top stories are just like, this house caught on fire, like this person was in a car accident, this politician is corrupt, and it's just like, and that is the things, not to say that it's not important, but in the midst of that, a lot of the positivity gets overlooked. So we have to sort of claim responsibility to again, be conscious of our spiritual diet. And that's where listening to music such as Tarek or such as any of the amazing hip-hop artists out there is something that you can literally think of as a diet, like wake up in the morning, put on a song that you love, put on a song that is going to motivate you and inspire you and just sort of boost you as you sort of take those first steps out the door into your life, into that day, and then continue to spread that positivity with other people. Because, the brain needs that reoccurrence of positivity so that it can begin to program itself. It's like literally like neuroplasticity. So, I mean, it's awesome that for people who may be new to this program, for you guys to be able to connect with such an amazing paradigm shift community, which is, and just a quick reminder that there's a lot of people who have been joining the Paradigm Shift discussion group, and if you're not in that, definitely join that. There's some good discussion going on there, and that is there to help evolve the project so that we can continue to connect with each other on a more global scale, and of course just encouraging people to start up Paradigm Shift communities where they are, and of course sign up for the newsletter through the main website at paradigmshiftcentral.com/newsletter. There have been 3 issues posted for that, and that will get you all the latest info on media, conscious media being put out through the network. And of course, this is a program that is a platform for you to be able to share your voice. So if you have videos, even if you have like songs, poetry, then post them in the discussion group and join the content creators, and we'll get you synced up with that and give you the opportunity to help share your voice with the world, because this is all about, we're all equals here. Like Tarek and I, like we're doing this to remind you that we can all do this, and regardless of experience, the innate ability to create is something that is like it's within all of us. It is within our nature, and it does take a little practice, and it takes a little bit of encouragement. So that's what we're here to do, is to be able to help remind us of how awesome we truly are. So yeah, you're awesome, whoever you are, all the people out there listening, and go tell somebody else, go remind somebody else. That's your little objective. It's just go remind somebody else before the end of the week of how much you think that they're awesome, and just let them know. So and go give some free hugs too. So anyways, we'll bring on a couple of the callers, and Tarek, of course, we're keeping you on the air, and we're just going to see where this is going, and looking to hear from my buddy Derek might be calling in, but in the meantime, we're going to be bringing on a caller from area code 732, and I think I accidentally brought them on earlier when I was trying to bring Troy on, but we didn't hear from them. But I presume there's somebody there, but making sure that we're properly addressing them, we will be able to hear from them. And then we'll bring some more callers on. The next caller is caller from 727, and then we also have a caller from area code 801. So first things first, caller from area code 732, we're going to bring you on to Paradigm Shift Radio if you're ready. So here we go. Hello, caller, can you hear us?
I absolutely can, darling. Hello, Soulshine.
Hello. Welcome to Paradigm Shift Radio.
It's Cisco, and I love you all.
Cisco, it's good to hear you back on the air. Cisco joined us in one of the past episodes, and oh man, she really she hit it out of the park. Just some really awesome stuff. But Cisco,
I have
please.
to get past the point that when I hear your voice and I connect in, the energy is so strong, tears just roll down my face.
I can hear it.
So forgive me. Forgive me, Tarek, little brother. Oh, little brother. I am so proud. I'm proud of each and every one of these soul shines. I really am. I would like to say that what you are doing is so powerful, and I don't feel that I have the right to say welcome to the shiftiness, But I'm on the outskirts, and I want you to know every time you guys are on, I am burning the sage for you. I am sending blessings. I'm calling every spirit that hears my voice to give you extra energy and put lightness in your step and a smile in your heart. And I'm behind you 150%. This is absolutely beautiful. I love the music. I love the message. And what I got from that, and I'm going to keep it short. We know I have a problem with that because I just roll. I'm so sorry, darling. But I got, all wisdom is not found in one place. And if you can touch one heart and let that person know if they're not finding the food for their heart and their soul that they need in this direction, that it's okay to look over here. And it's okay to find it here. And that we are one love, and we are one light, and we all are a part of each other, and we all flow through one another. So I would like to tell you, too, Tarek, is he there? Can he hear me?
I'm still here. Yep. I'm feeling and
okay.
hearing you.
Oh, sweetheart, listen to me. When you're burning the sage, if you would do one favor, just remember, just do this for all the ancestors that I'm sending your way, because I'm burning the sage, and I've called upon them. They can see you now. You understand that?
Yeah, I definitely
do. They can see you now. So you are going to feel a burst of energy, and just roll with it, because anything that is powered in love like this, they are behind 100%. So when you burn the sage, see if you can get a drum, my son has a skin drill, I forget the name, but it doesn't matter. It's the rhythm. And just beat the rhythm, burn the sage, thank the ancestors, because thank them ahead of time, claim it, because they're going to be there and they're going to help you, they're going to power this. And I'm sending that to Brendon. I send it to everybody out there. Hello, all my soul shines. Everybody out there that's touched me and on Facebook and everything. And I will be there for you too, Tarek. Anytime you're doing this, let me know, and I will burn the sage here for you and send you energy, and you're going to get boosted. So
thank you, sister. Thank you, sister.
Honey,
I'm open to it. I receive it. I will do that exactly what you said.
You claim it, baby, because it's coming.
I'm ready. Bring it on. Bring it on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I send you love, and we're going to let somebody else on. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you for all your wonderful messages, and keep driving. Remember this: one pinpoint of light can brighten the darkened room. So you keep on letting your light shine. One love. Namaste.
All right. Thank you so much, Cisco.
Thank you.
Cisco, are you gonna? I mean, again, I know. Should we just bring on other callers? Is what I'm asking, Cisco. Was that your part? Are you sort of stopping by?
I'm trying to be good. I'm shutting up, Brandon.
Well, we'll keep you here in the background, but yeah, let's. I mean,
I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, okay. So, let's bring on another caller and just see what they have to add to the conversation as well. So, caller from area code 727. We're gonna bring you onto the air. Here we go. Hello, caller. Can you hear us?
Yes. Hey, how's it going, Skull?
Awesome. Caller, who's this, and where are you calling from?
This is Adriano, your friend from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Sweet. Nice, man. I saw you in the live chat there. Awesome, dude.
Yeah,
and,
yes. We've connected a few times before in the past. Last time I was with you, you were making buttons, and I set the intention that I wanted a button so bad, and I ended up winning the contest, and it was such an amazing little miracle for me. So I was super excited for that. And this topic tonight is really, really close and dear to my heart. Hip-hop and being a lyricist and creating like poetry in motion has always been a dream of me and one of my best friends growing up. And I grew up in Miami, which has a pretty big, huge hip-hop scene, really. And I grew up with a lot of kind of hardcore, like really dark hip-hop, like old DMX and old Bone Thugs and Harmony, which were kind of really frightening and really scaring growing up with that music. I mean, I was 6-7 years old, and my brother was really into the whole gangster scene and this really, really dark music. And I think it's affected me a lot. You know, it's changed my perspective on what hip hop is and how powerful of a tool it is. But anyway, so that's just kind of the context that I wanted to give you guys. But I had a quick question for Tarek on his process of making music, because as I try to lay down tracks and as I try to create art, this darkness arises, this kind of programmings that have been in me and influenced me. When they come up, how to deal with those, and how do you work with your art, and how do you transform that?
Thanks for everything you've shared, man. If I understand correctly, like, I feel that's the common theme with artists, and I was at an open mic the other day, and it's almost like we apologize for that part of us that is so powerful, but I think we've misunderstood it and we've judged it. And what if it's the divinity within us that wants to come out, and we're so afraid of it, and it's kind of found its way into our like shadow self? So what came to me the other day when I was on the mic, I was like, sorry guys, this song's really like aggressive, and what I was really saying is this is a very powerful song that could start a revolution pretty much, because it's that divine energy within me that wants to come out. And they're like, don't worry about it, man, unleash the beast. And ever since then I've been saying that, not in the way like the industry talks about it, but more like, I love that singing. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You bring it out. You bring it up. I was just thinking, I didn't mean to cut you off, honestly, but what you're reminding me of is y'all are too young to remember during Vietnam. I'm an old hippie native. You don't know me, Tarek, but that's me. I'm an old soul. And we used to have so much music that spoke to what we were feeling. We didn't even know what we were feeling, but we knew we were against the war, we were against the oppression, we were against the hatred and the violence, and all we had was the music. And I'm seeing it coming back now, and I'm seeing the voices lifted and the hearts singing, and that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, so don't let anything stop you. I mean, everybody in Paradigm Shift has their own song. They all walk to the beat of a different drummer, and that is absolutely beautiful, because when they all walk together, it makes the most beautiful music, and it's heard. It's absolutely heard, and I'm behind it 150%. And the song that, do you remember? I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was at Woodstock, and he sang the song "Freedom." And sometimes I feel like a motherless child. And that's what we feel like. We feel like they're taking the earth from us, and we want to take it back. It wants to be back with us. And go get it. Go get it back.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I wanted to thank you for that blessing that you said earlier, because it was really, really powerful. And I know you were giving that blessing to Tarek, but it kind of felt like it was coming my way as well. And
all of us.
It is. Yeah. For everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these stories are, I mean, just to hear your story, it's so amazing to me, because it's so parallel to my life. Like, I love hip-hop, and I love creating this poetry in motion, and I feel like I've been waiting and I've been hesitating, and just to hear that it was okay for you to take your time, and you kind of went forward with it, and you kind of just unleashed it and created your music. And it's kind of funny, because my birthday's coming up too next month, and I guess your birthday's in March and my birthday's in April, and just to hear your story right now is really inspiring and makes me want to get on the microphone. Tomorrow I'm gonna I'm gonna lay down some tracks again.
Good, man. Good.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't want to take up too much time. I definitely want to let other people speak, but I really appreciate the advice of kind of just letting that beast go, or letting that inner energy go when I'm on the microphone, and not judging it. And I guess the question that I have is, if it does come out in one of the recordings or something, do you ever keep, maybe not mistakes, but do you ever keep parts of your music that you feel that other people might freak out about? Or what do you do with those really dark parts of your music that maybe you don't want other people to see? Or do you heal it? Do you bless it? Like, I just kind of want to understand your process.
Yeah, man, that's a very good question. And I feel like the darker poems, like the other day that we were at this open mic, and this lady's like, I'm really sorry, guys, this is such a dark poem. From the moment she started till the moment she was done, my crown chakra was so opened, so divinely connected, and I was feeling those tingles that we get when we're in prayer or in church or in a mosque or in a synagogue, and that was her saying, I'm sorry guys, this is a dark poem. So once again, unleash the beast. That is our divinity misunderstood. That is the you know, and it's those things that we're so afraid to show, but we're shining light by we're you know, Eminem, DMX, Tupac, like these guys had such a dark thing they were battling, but by putting it out there, you know, it's alchemy. You take all that stuff that we're calling dark, and by putting it out there in away from the heart through creativity, it's no longer dark. It's something really magical. And I think the darker, like one of the songs on the album, if you guys go to the link, is, to me, I battled with it. I was like, this is a dark song. It's talking about the music industry. It's talking about people being sacrificed. It features Professor Griff in an interview, and you know, talking about some really dark stuff. And I was like, I was so afraid to put it out there, but when you put it out there, it's like, that's the stuff that people are like, yeah, that's what I want to hear. So, you know, go for it, bro. Like, you know, we're only afraid of how powerful we are, but, you know, let those that you love and, you know, share it with us in the community, and, you know, we'll give you the honest feedback, man. But, you know, maybe, Brendon, if we can do like a mini healing before I leave, just to help us all really align with sharing our gifts and talents in a very powerful way. I feel that's, you know, that's something I'd love to share.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. Thank you so much for the advice, and I guess it is really key to feel that the music, it's kind of like once you shine a light on the darkness, and it can begin to heal. Yeah. And I'll definitely try to keep working on transmuting my music and just transmuting my sound to, I guess, to maybe understand it better, to reach, like, to feel that divinity that's within, you know, and just to channel it out. So I thank you so much for the inspiration, you guys, tonight. It's really a blessing.
Thank you, Adrian.
You're very welcome, man.
Right on, man. Cool. Actually, you know, I sort of have just kind of putting this out there. I was thinking earlier, I would be curious. I wouldn't mind actually reading a little bit of a poem that I started a couple days ago for you guys. It's not finished yet, but that was something I was going to do. And then I also had some other lyrics I was going to read from some of the inspiring hip hop that I used to listen to growing up, which is actually the Beastie Boys, and that was just something that, I mean, a lot of people are familiar with the Beastie Boys, and that was just something I blatantly have very clear memories of, like, owning. Like, I only owned a couple of, like, actual physical CDs back in the day, and one of them was their CD. And there's, like, so I'd be curious to read one of the little paragraphs from one of their songs as well, and also to be able to read a little bit of the poem / verses that I got of a new poem that I'm writing, and also to be able to invite Adriano, if you have something, just while I'm doing this, if you have something that you want to prep and share on air too as well, I would love to hear it, man. Does that? What do you think?
Man. I can cook something up really quickly, probably.
If you got something. If you got something already ready, man, like, just pull aside, like, one of the lyrics that you already got ready. That would be awesome, and then we can. I
want to let you know about my process is kind of funny. Have you guys ever heard of wabi sabi before? Wabi sabi is like a Zen or like a Japanese philosophy that whenever you create art, you let the mistakes stay in the art, and that's kind of like, that's like where the creativity is, and that's what people really like to enjoy. So I put out an album earlier just to get, like, I had to scratch this itch of putting together an album, you know, like I had to do it. So it's called Adriano Luna's Mama's Kitchen, and because I recorded it in my mother's kitchen. So I don't know if you mind a little plug right here. It's AdrianoLunasMamasKitchen.com, and I have a website up for it, and maybe I'll share the link on the broadcast radio. It's really comedic. There's a lot of comedy in there, and the things that come out are hilarious, and it's just kind of stream of consciousness. But yeah, I'll probably cook up a poem for you really quick while you read yours.
Sure, man.
Probably inspired from the episode tonight. I can go for that.
All right, cool. All right, let's do that, and maybe Tarek can sort of share something as well. I know he's got plenty just on the top of his head as well. So with that said, we only got about 15 minutes left in the episode, so just give you an idea of what's going to happen. I'll read a little bit of poetry here. I'll read a little bit of the Beastie Boys, and then we'll also get, you know, Tarek and Adriano in as well. And then from there, we'll do the button draw. So just final reminder for the button draw, send a message, facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio if you want to get in on that. And then from there, we'll segue, and Tarek's going to end off the episode with a little bit of healing meditation as well, something that he also does. I mean, we're just talking about the music side. This is Tarek. Tarek wears many hats, so definitely add him on Facebook. And just, if you're having trouble finding him on Facebook, just run a search on Tarek Bibi, Tarek space Bibi, and you'll be able to find it that way, no problem. So that said, let me just share. Let's see. Okay, so this is from the Beastie Boys song "Just a Test," and this is the second verse in it. And so listen carefully to these lyrics. I think there's something more here, because I think the Beastie Boys in themselves are conscious hip hop artists. If anything, some may say that like all hip hop artists are conscious in some way or another, depending on how you're looking at it. But yeah, okay. So this is from the Beastie Boys, "Just a Test." So. Like sand in one hand, you can't hold for long. Like scheming on a plan that goes all wrong. Like fudge and caramel, they're not the same. And it's a shame all you talk is game. You act like a diamond waiting to be set in a gold ring, as if I bet. As time goes by in this give and take, as long as I learn, I will make mistakes. But what do I want? What do I need? Why do I want it? What's in it for me? It's the imagery of technology, is what you get, is what you see. Don't worry your mind when you give it your best. 1 2 1 2. This is just a test. So that's kind of cool. So it's funny, man, because I used to listen to that like so much when I was younger, and it wasn't until I was older I was like, wait a second, like what are they actually talking about here? So yeah. Okay, all right. So this is I don't want to waste too much time, so I'm going to get right into the next thing. So this is a poem that I'm actually writing to share at the Lucidity Festival for the Journey to Lucidity movie. So nice. So this is called "Live and Let Flow." Live and let flow, live and let flow. Be like a tree, and you will grow. Because as the wise man once said, it all begins with a drop, a collective totality of all that is and all that is not. Knowledge and experience summed up in one equation, divided by time and multiplied by manifestation. As the drop makes its mark, it ripples branches out through time, or out through space, expanding out into infinity, seeking sunlight and finding grace. The objective of the drop is to create pathways for life itself, to explore in every direction, as above and below, west, east, north, and south. With every branch that reaches out, connecting back to the core, there exists infinite quantum potentials for potential something like lightning to explore. Okay, last part. And with the pulse of the cosmos, all that can be seen becomes red, energy through the branches, yet only some of which becomes said. So that's not the full poem. That's just what I got so far. But yeah, I mean, that's just, me sitting down for a half hour and writing what comes to mind. So again, I encourage people to practice writing their poetry. Absolutely. If that's something that you feel drawn to, practice your art. And just enjoy the process. So passing it over to Adriano. Do you got something? We're clicking down on the clock here, but I don't want to rush you. But go ahead, Adriano.
Okay. I usually go just right off the top of the dome. So let me I have a little something started, and let me see where it goes from there. Okay. The generic is being changed. My heart and soul rearranged. Inspiration running freely. The words of paradigm heal me. Tarek and Skull, thank you for reminding me that the ball is in my court. And now I'm going to share what my heart is desiring. Oh, my God, I'm supplying these rhyming again and again with my pen and my paper. Now let's go away. I'll zoom out like Darth Vader. That's all I got. That was right off the spot. Awesome. And I usually love freestyling, and I just want to say how appreciative I am for you guys hosting this show tonight. And really, really helped me heal. So thank you guys so much.
Oh, you're welcome, brother.
Awesome. All right, Tarek. Anything that you got off the top of your head? Jump in.
I just wanted to continue with that, like with my paper and pen. You are my sister and brethren. Everyone on this call is a friend. So connect me so we can connect. We are all connected, interdimensional. Yo. This is the verse that will get us all feeling the mental, spiritual. We are all one, so beat that drum and spark that sage and
connect to the ancient ways and bring it back into the new, into the now, because the time starts, and that's how we spark this divine, shine bright like the sun, and we will become one. So just to continue with our brother's flow and just have this one poem I wanted to share. So it's dedicated to all the people that stood for truth, you know, the Galileos, everyone who stood for truth and got crucified, the Jesuses, the Michael Jacksons, the Tupac. So may I share it?
Go for it, dude.
Thanks, man. I dedicated this one to Santos Bonacci. You look him up on YouTube, and he heard it and he shared it with his community. It was such an honor. So here it is. So he spoke the truth and they put him in detention. A man that spoke with affection, having a deep soul connection, massive comprehension of stars up in heaven, a superstar who was heaven sent. He got you scared, that is evident. Locked him up with no evidence, but it's evident. You got something to hide like this big pink elephant. You are contagious pestilence like Monsanto. He got kidnapped, but you won't accept the ransom. Karma's a bitch, it might happen to your grandson. Who are you protecting? This is your nightmare, your projection. If he dies, you better beware of his resurrection. Guilty until proven innocent. Sounds like the same story, just reliving it. You are at war with the infinite. Your house of cards falls apart in increments. Warriors have risen and are used as divine instruments. Another case of false imprisonment. A flood of love is imminent. The golden age where truth prevails. We know this is not coincidence. You cannot control a tsunami of truth, no matter how vigilant. You're challenging a force that's truly omnipotent. Why are you hard on us? Are you impotent and need a little stimulant? Boy, are you in a ridiculous predicament. No pun intended, just slipped right in. See, these are the times where we win again. It's been written in religions and predictions. You're victims of a sickness that needs prescription, addicted to winning through division. We found the philosopher's stones and can read the Egyptian inscriptions. You will never win, but I respect your persistence and the precision of your vision. But you will all slowly kill yourselves off like dinosaur extinctions.
Nice, guys. Nice. Sweet. Awesome, guys. All right, so we only got 7 minutes left in the show, guys, and actually, I got my buddy Derek is actually he's here, and I'm gonna bring him on in 1 minute. But just before I do that, I'm gonna just do the button draw, just so we're not catching ourselves late on that, and we'll end with Tarek's closing meditation, just with a couple minutes left. So again, if you want the buttons, you can order them for yourself at any time. ParadigmShiftCentral.com/buttons. Use the promo code PSR, and also remind you guys that if you enjoy this episode, then please use the tip jar to show your support for the community and help us give more free shift buttons out to the project, out to the people out there to be able to help change the world. And you can find the tip jar through Facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio. So the winner for this week's shift buttons are synchronistically chosen on behalf of consciousness itself is Anastasia Lee. This week's winner is Anastasia Lee. So I'm going to send a message to Anastasia. Congratulations, Anastasia.
Congrats.
And another reminder for everybody in the live chat, take this moment to post your Facebook profiles in the live chat to be able to invite each other to connect with each other so you can get more connected with the awesome people in the Paradigm Shift community. So I'm going to post my profile in there so you can find me, facebook.com/SkullBabylon, and anybody in the live chat, just post your Facebook profiles now. So thank you once again, everybody. And with that said, I'm going to bring on our buddy Derek. So Derek, if you're ready, you can jump on the air now and add some closing thoughts.
What's up? How's it going?
Hey, Derek. Welcome to the show, man. All right, so literally talking sticks in your hands, dude. Go ahead.
Respect to all, and mad props on everyone who gets with this hip-hop culture, because it's as real as it's ever gotten, and right now it's just something we all need, I think. And I just wanted to spit a little piece about what it means, or what my interpretation of it is, and learning from, you know, the pillars and the break blocks of what hip-hop started from. And to me, I really think it's all about an alchemical culture, about kind of how it helped transform ghetto projects, neighborhoods that have been suffering from violence, drug addiction, and poverty, and how it actually helped to turn that around and bridge everyone together to start kind of forming a community where it had been torn apart and in suffering. And in doing so, it kind of demonstrated the power of, the transformational power of art in creating, transforming it into a conscious, creative, thriving culture of enlightenment and empowerment. and uplifting the mindset of the youth, giving them something to look up to aspire to, trying to help them hone their own gift, see the world, and just give them another public sphere more than the one that they had been given. And the 5 pillars of hip-hop, basically just artistic outlets that were presented that kind of came out through the intense period of trials and suffering from basically beatboxing, breakdancing, graffiti, turntables, and lyricism, like DJs, and that kind of merged into the hip-hop culture we know now. And one key distinction I think that's been talked about is just the difference between hip-hop and rap, and how hip-hop is something you live, rap is something you do. And just to summarize it, one thing that I thought sums it up best in Immortal Technique's words, kind of adapted from KRS-One, is that when I say hip-hop, I'm referring to the conscious spread of truth and preservation of our culture. So 2 key elements, truth and culture. With that being said, I just want to say shout out to everyone who's down with this movement and keeping it alive, because it's something that hasn't been bumped by the mainstream media. It's something that really you have to look underground for. You have to go word of mouth and know the right people, be connected to the right links to really get that good conscious music that helps open your mind, uplift, even spreading knowledge through music. These are all things that we talk about in the Paradigm Shift community, and things that really can, we get education through so many different mediums. Why not music? And hip-hop was just one of the earliest foundations of knowledge and enlightenment and empowerment through music and vibration.
So there we go.
With that being said, that's all I got to say, guys. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Derek. Derek, do you have the episode playing in the background right now? Is that what?
Yeah, I might have it. My apologies. I might have it.
Well, no, because it worked out perfectly. Whatever was happening there, that was some nice background music for Derek. I thought it was intentional.
Right.
I swear. It was
my God! Wow. Okay.
Anyways, all right, Derek, thank you so much, man. I'll post your profile in the live chat too, so people can have a chance to add you. And last reminder, of course, thanking everybody for being on the show. And we will be doing an after party hangout as per usual. You can find the link for that at facebook.com/ParadigmShiftRadio. And literally just with 2 minutes left in the show, Tarek, if you can, please just finish us off with a closing final thoughts. And everybody, Adriano and Cisco, I'll bring you guys on once Tarek is just wrapping this up. So, Tarek, go ahead, and I'll just play some slight background music here. It's all you.
All right, I'm going to wrap this up real quick. So, one thing, facebook.com/LSDivinity. I post a lot of poems there. youtube.com/LSDivinity. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Are you guys there?
You're good.
Yeah,
go for it, dude.
Okay. So, my intention is just through this prayer, through this intention, just to connect to Source, close your eyes, take a deep belly breath, allow that infinitely wise, powerful, loving, healing energy to connect to you. Now, would you like this powerful Source to assist you in really aligning yourself with your heart's calling, with your creativity, with your passion, and to start an energy healing process to clear everything that's in the way of you being able to get yourself out there, to share your gifts, talents, and abilities to the fullest, to create, to co-create, to connect with the right people, attract all the synchronicities, miracles, blessings, etc. If you'd like that, just declare out loud by saying yes, and so it is. So just take a deep belly breath. And this is another thing I'd like to share, is that if you guys feel like Brendon has given you all this love, all this wisdom, all this sharing and community, just whenever you're listening to this, just send him, and whoever was on the call, just send us a big blessing from your heart, a big thank you, because everything needs to be in exchange. So he's putting a lot of time and effort into these things. If you're not supporting with the buttons or with finances, your prayer, your intention, your thank you, your gratitude, that's the highest vibration on our planet. And when you send it to him, you're blessing him in ways that money can't buy. So there's always something we can do as a thank you to return the exchange that was give and receive. So, Brendon, if you're up for that, just open up and just receive it into your heart. And so it is. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much, Tarek, and we're just going to officially wrap up the show here. So, Adriano and Cisco, I'm just going to bring you two back onto the air, and I'm just going to segue this as we get ready to play the outro music. And as for everybody else, we will be seeing you in the Hangout as per usual. So, Adriano, Cisco, Tarek, thank you so much for joining us here for another episode of Paradigm Shift Radio, and keep bringing that creativity into the world. Those little things, and it is making a difference. So let's keep on doing it. Awesome, guys.
Will do, man. Thank you so much. Lots of love.
All right, so everybody here, join me in saying goodbye to the internet as I play the outro music. So wave goodbye to the internet, everybody. Bye, internet.
Bye. Blessings and light.
Bye, internet. All right. One love. Cheers. Magic. Thank you for listening to another episode of Paradigm Shift Radio. If you would like to connect with people where you are and continue the conversations further, then check out ParadigmShiftCentral.com/buttons to order your supply of shift buttons to share with people to help invite them to this global project while also helping make new friends and building local community where you are. Shift buttons are tools to hack the matrix and tap into the synchronistic nature of reality to accelerate our collective awakening. Enter the promo code PSR into your order to receive additional bonus buttons to your supply. Thank you again, and one love.